Hey everybody, we're here with Julia Bailey Goldstein at Loop de Loop Winery. We're actually at the winery in the Columbia Gorge right now, and this release is all about rivers and their influence on winemaking. And you can actually see the Columbia River in the corner back there. It's gorgeous, so you definitely should visit if you're ever down in the gorge. We have this Pinot Gris. It's a Pinot Gris Rouge, and something that kind of gets lost on a lot of people about Pinot Gris or Grigio is that it's actually a red grape, and you can make a red wine from it. It often gets turned into a white. But I was just really captivated by this wine, and that's why we picked it for the release, because I think it's really interesting. So do you want to tell us, Julia, just a little bit about this vineyard and this wine?
Sure. Well, first of all, we call it borderline red for obvious reasons. The image on the label is a photograph that I took and posted on Instagram while I was in the vineyard one day of some wildflowers that were growing. And my friend who makes our labels, Colleen from Noisy Cats Designs, she saw the picture on Instagram and she's like, "That's your new label." So, and that's become the idea. All of our wines from our vineyard will have images of things growing in our vineyard or on our property. We're practicing regenerative farming, and so the stuff that's growing here is super important to us, especially when it pops up on its own, and it should be here. The wine is Pinot Gris from up here on Underwood Mountain, so high altitude, cool climate. We're in a subalpine climate on the edge of the Cascade Mountains. We're on an old shield volcano, which is made up of a sandy loam with windblown loess over the top, which lends towards wines that are a little bit, more austere, maybe a little bit more linear, but also very, very pretty aromatics, a little bit more ethereal. And the high altitude helps with that as well, and that's something we definitely gravitate towards and want to embrace. First and foremost, we always want to show the site and the area, the larger area, if appropriate, of where we're growing. So in this case, it's Underwood. So this Pinot Gris is Pinot Gris Rouge, or you could call it a Ramato. It's planted up to 1,500 feet in elevation, so super, super high up there, just about half a mile from us up here on Underwood Mountain. And what we did with this is because of the fact that it's so high up, it was one of the last things that came in. And Pinot Gris, just like Pinot Noir, it's a mutation of Pinot Noir, likes this long, drawn-out, cool ripening experience, which gives you great phenolic development. And in spite of the fact that it was so hot in 2021, with this high altitude, we still had that. And so we brought the Pinot Gris in at 22 Brix as one of the very, very last things we picked last year at the end of October. And I think that gives a lot more complexity to it, which is one of the great things about these.
I love that we're drinking this at red wine temperature right now. You could also drink this cool or with a chill on it, but man, it's cool because it has that like breadth and that complexity on the nose and palate. I love that you wrote subalpine mountain wine too, because I get lots of pine and fir and cedar on this wine.
Totally.
It's just there's nothing like this really. This is very specific to this place and specific to this winery and this imagination. And so thank you for sharing it with us. I think it's just really exceptional and really different. And that's kind of the goal of Country Red Fruit, is showing you new stuff. And this is definitely under that category of things you've probably never tasted anything like before. 8 barrels of this were made, so I think we're taking, a quarter year production or a sixth?
A chunk, yeah.
A chunk. So thank you for sharing it with us and letting us have it. When I pull up to the winery in my car, I'm here to pick up the wine. I'm going to drive it back to the Country Red Fruit warehouse. Julia was driving a forklift and just doing general badass shit. So mad respect to you for coming up here to the wilderness and making a vineyard and making cool stuff like this. Cheers.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah.